Hello and welcome to Miniature Adventures. I'm Big Lee, and this week I want to talk about why I keep this channel a politics-free zone. So this week I want to skate right up to the edge of a subject that I've very carefully avoided since I started this channel back in 2020. Long-term subscribers will know that I've always kept politics off the table here. There's always been deliberately and unapologetically a non-politic zone, a refuge, a little island of painted metal and plastic in a sea of real-world noise. And the reason I'm bringing this up now is because, well, partly because there's been a by-election in the UK this week and the political noise has increased, but also because of something that happened recently which really underlined, for me at least, just how powerful our strange, brilliant, slightly ridiculous hobby can be for both our mental and physical health. So today I want to talk about why I keep politics elsewhere, why I think it's worth protecting, and how this hobby of ours doesn't just give us an escape, it might actually make us healthier, calmer and even sharper thinkers in the long run. Now, many wargamers on YouTube have spoken about the mental health benefits of the hobby. I've done it myself several times. We all recognise that moment when you sit down at the painting desk, put a podcast on or line up a squad of unpainted inventory and the world just fades a bit. The email stops shouting, the news cycle quietens down, the endless to-do list goes and sulks in the corner. There's something almost meditative about edge highlighting a tiny sleeve or dry brushing a ruined wall. You are present, you are focused. Your brain, which normally behaves like an over-caffeinated squirrel, suddenly settles into a steady rhythm. Paint, play, rinse, repeat. But I do think we sometimes underestimate the physical side of this. We talk about stress relief in a general, slightly hand-wavy way. It helps me relax, it's good for my mental health. All true, but recently I had something a bit more measurable. But before we get to that, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to the amazing people who make these videos possible, our channel members. If you're enjoying the content, please consider joining the team. Memberships start at just £1, less than a cup of coffee, and every single penny is reinvested back into the channel to keep the channel growing. Just click the join button below to see the perks. Now back to today's topic. So I started to get a series of texts from my GP asking me to book in an appointment for a blood pressure check or to take a reading at home. Now, as a man of a certain age and, let's be honest, a certain gravitational commitment, high blood pressure is not exactly a shocking development. I've taken tablets for it for years, and I'm one of those little home monitors that makes you feel like a cyborg being interrogated by a polite robot. I don't use it as often as I should, so I decided to bring it up here in the hobby room. After all, I spent half my free time in this particular chair. And what I discovered wasn't surprising as such, but was definitely fascinating. If I take a reading before I start painting, it's often hovering in the we don't love that zone. A bit hypertensive, a bit maybe ease off the biscuits. But after an hour of painting, or editing a video, or even just cleaning mould lines off some infantry, it drops consistently from hypertensive into normal range. I've repeated this several times now because I'm a nerd and I like data. The result is the same. My hobby quite literally lowers my blood pressure. That's not a poetic metaphor, that's a cuff around my arm and numbers on a screen. Now let's be clear, this is not a peer-reviewed clinical trial. It's one middle-aged bloke with a box of miniatures and a blood pressure monitor. But the pattern is strong enough to make me sit back and think, this room is doing something real. When I'm in here, I'm calmer. My nervous system is less wound up. The background hum and stress just quietens down. And this is where politics comes into it. Now, I consider myself to be a reasonably well-informed person. I'm interested in the news. I vote. I read. I follow experts. Real experts, not some random bloke on Facebook. I care about the direction of the world. But if we're honest, modern politics is engineered to provoke. It's designed to keep you in a heightened state because outrage drives engagement, anxiety drives clicks. Even if you approach it calmly, the ecosystem itself runs on adrenaline, and that has negative consequences physically and mentally. Staying informed doesn't mean you have to marinate in the 24-hour news cycle. It doesn't mean carrying every argument into every space, and it certainly doesn't mean I need to project my political views into a hobby channel about tiny soldiers and military history. This room is my sanctuary. This channel is an extension of that sanctuary, and I think that is worth defending. So regardless of where you sit politically, left, right, centre, somewhere orbiting Mars, you are welcome here. You are welcome to talk about rules, miniatures, paint ranges, historical sources, catastrophic dice rolls, and the eternal mystery of why superglue belongs instantly to skin but not your miniatures. But politics, that stays outside the door. Keep the conversation friendly, on topic, respectful, and we're golden. If not, then to paraphrase the lyrics of a hit 1980s song, this is my channel and I'll delete if I want to. I've only had to use that power sparingly. In 5 years I can count on one hand the number of times I've had to delete a comment, almost all of which were cases of blatant trolling, and only once was it for a political comment that was both very offensive and completely unrelated to the topic being discussed. I don't reach for the nuclear option lightly, but I will to protect the atmosphere here. And here's the thing, creating a politics-free zone isn't about pretending politics doesn't exist. It's about recognising that constant exposure to conflict and ideological trench warfare is exhausting. Our hobby gives us something quite different. It gives us structured conflict, agreed rules, clear objectives, a handshake before and after a conflict. You can refight the Battle of Waterloo and still go for a pint afterwards. Try doing that with your average Twitter debate. There's also an interesting paradox here. I avoid contemporary politics on the channel, yet our hobby is deeply rooted in history, and history is soaked in politics. When we research the Napoleonic Wars or the Second World War or the English Civil War, we inevitably encounter political ideas, ideologies and power struggles. War is the continuation of politics by other means, as Clausewitz said. But because these events are at a historical distance, we can examine them more coolly. We can compare sources and argue about interpretations without feeling personally attacked. So in that sense, I think wargaming can actually make us better critical thinkers. We learn to question sources without becoming conspiracy theorists. We discover that narratives are contested and appreciate a range of opinion. We see how propaganda works and how to look past it. We realise that hindsight is a luxury few contemporary leaders can master. That kind of historical literacy is very healthy in my humble opinion. It builds intellectual resilience. It reminds us that the present moment, however dramatic, is part of a long and messy human story. So ironically, by keeping modern politics out of this particular space, we may be strengthening our ability to think clearly about politics elsewhere. Calm minds analyse far better than agitated ones. Now let's zoom back in on the health side of our hobby, because this is where things get properly interesting. Now I've talked about this before, but it's worth repeating. There was a study several years ago, researchers at Oxford University conducted studies that looked into the effects of arts and crafts activities on well-being. Miniature painting fits squarely into that category, and what they found lines up uncannily well with what many of us experience intuitively. Engaging in detailed craft activities improves fine motor skills. That's not surprising. When you're painting a 28mm face, your hands are performing micro adjustments constantly. Those tiny, controlled movements reinforce neural pathways between brain and muscle. And over time, that kind of dexterity training keeps the motor cortex, the part of your brain that controls voluntary movement, active and responsive. They also found improvements in problem-solving ability. Think about what you do when you paint or build terrain. You make constant micro decisions. What colour scheme will unify this army? How do I fix that mould line without destroying the detail? How can I make this base look muddy without it looking like chocolate cake? Each miniature is a small puzzle, and your brain loves puzzles. It thrives on manageable challenges with visible progress. Stress and anxiety reduction were consistently reported in these clinical studies, and that aligns beautifully with my blood pressure anecdote. When you focus deeply on a task, you enter what psychologists call a flow state. Flow is that condition where you lose track of time because your skill level is well matched to the challenge. Not too easy, not too hard. In flow, the stress hormone cortisol drops, your heart rate stabilises, your mind stops rehearsing tomorrow's arguments and starts caring about whether that highlight needs one more pass. And participants in these studies also reported improved mood and concentration. After a crafting session, they felt more mentally alert, more focused. Now, it might sound counterintuitive, shouldn't relaxing make you sleepy, but restorative activities don't sedate you, they recalibrate you. It's the difference between collapsing on the sofa and actually recharging. And one of the things that I've always found most fascinating is even emerging research suggesting that sustained engagement in mentally stimulating hobbies may help slow cognitive decline associated with conditions like Alzheimer's and dementia. The theory here, and I have to say it is still a working theory, is that complex hands-on activities build what neuroscientists call cognitive reserve. Think of it as mental redundancy. The more neural connections you build through varied, challenging activity, the more resilient your brain becomes over time. Painting miniatures combines visual processing, fine motor control, planning, memory and creative decision making. It's a full brain workout disguised as fun. No lycra required. And let's not forget the social side. Wargaming is, at heart, communal. Even solo painters are often connected through clubs, forums, shows and the comment section below videos like this. Social connection is one of the strongest predictors of long-term health because humans are tribal creatures. We're not meant to brood alone over spreadsheets and headlines. We're meant to gather around tables and argue about whether that charge was in range. So when I say this channel is a no politics zone, it's not about shutting down thought, it's about cultivating an environment where those health benefits can flourish. A space where you can unwind, learn something historical, share a painting tip or laugh at a catastrophic dice roll without being dragged into ideological crossfire. In a world that constantly demands your outrage, choosing calm is quietly radical. Our hobby may look odd to outsiders, how it looks odd to insiders as well. Grown adults pushing toy soldiers around and debating the correct shade of Prussian blue. But beneath the surface, it's doing something profoundly human. It gives structure and it builds community. It gives the mind a break from perpetual alertness. And in my case, it gives my cardiovascular system a little holiday. So I wanted to throw this out to you. Have you noticed similar effects? Has painting or gaming helped you through a stressful period? Have you felt that drop in tension when you sit down at the desk? Have you found that researching history has sharpened the way you think about the world? I suspect many of us know intellectually that the hobby is good for us, but sometimes it takes a blood pressure monitor to make the benefits visible. So let's have that conversation. Keep it friendly, keep it focused on the hobby, and share your experiences in the comments below. If this strange, wonderful pastime can help our mental and physical health, I'd love to hear about it. And if you've got thoughts on why maintaining a politics-free refuge matters, add them too. Because in a noisy world, a quiet room full of tiny soldiers might be one of the healthiest places we can be. So until next week, stay safe, keep gaming, and of course, keep rolling high.